All right, it's time for me to introduce the first act. Are you ready? All right, well, how do you start a show this big? You start with a sure thing. Here's the guy who taught me how it's done. Could I get a huge round of applause for Jeff Green?
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's lovely to be here. It's not great going on first, unless it's an orgy, of course. In which case you want to get straight in. 2013, an election year. Gillard versus Abbott. You couldn't decide last time, could you? Mind you, it's like being asked what testicle do you want removed, isn't it? Oh, those are me choices. And I got two little kids, Lucifer and Voldemort, two lovely boys. Lucifer's a hypochondriac, covered in band-aids, needs a band-aid every 3 seconds. If you give him a box of Smarties, he takes them one at a time with a glass of water. I'm not well, Dad, but these things help. Voldemort, his brother, likes nothing more than snorting mucus to the back of his throat, swallowing it, and touching his penis. There is two primary objectives when he wakes up in the morning: clears me tubes and wears me knob. That it is. I'll just make sure that's still firmly attached to my body. I'll be checking that at regular intervals during the day. Make sure it hasn't come loose from me torso. He's 27. He's not 27. People say, what are the myths of being a parent? I go, they grow up so fast. They don't, folks. It's bloody glacial. Years have been hanging around me, those little bastards. And there's always a drama when you've got kids. You never go home and the wife says, oh, put your feet up. It's always, go and speak to Voldemort, he's crying. What's he crying about? He's been watching television, watching the Occupy Wall Street riots. Go and speak to him. So I've gone in, I said, what's wrong, son? He's gone, Daddy, those people were angry. I've gone, well, of course they're angry, son. They've lost their jobs. How did they lose their jobs, Dad? There was a thing called the global financial crisis. What was that? That was greedy men in America selling a thing called subprime mortgages and mortgage-backed debt. Now, I sense I was getting a little bit deep for my child at this point. Then I made the mistake of saying, you won't understand. My wife heard, she went, you can't say that to him. You've got to explain it to him. What, mortgage-backed debt? Yes, tell him all about it. Okay, son, imagine A is the registered holder of a bond payable to B, the principal of which has been credit swapped with the bank C. The terms are controlled by an investment bank, D, who aggregates them along with like 30 others, sells them notionally to E. Keep up. E, he's foreign. He flattens his forex risk by selling a future on his long currency book to F, who runs that position against a high-yielding bond bought from a junk status customer who insures his risk of default with a major insurer, G. There also happen to be A. And that's why the Greeks are eating dog food, son. But he wasn't listening to me, folks, because he was touching his knob. And who can blame him? Because he's Australian. Are you allowed to do that when people talk about the global financial crisis? Because you didn't have it. You were the only industrialised nation that didn't have it. You body swerved. You went, ooh, catch that, New Zealand. That's got your name in it, not ours. Friends of China, China's friend. Friends of the big guy, Australia coming through. This is how I see Australia. Water skiing behind the Chinese boat. That's how I see you guys. Go as fast as you can, China. Go past New Zealand again, please. I have my own dramas, folks. I got done for jaywalking in Melbourne a few months ago. I'm at the Burke Street Mall. I've crossed the tram tracks, you know, because I'm a grown-up. I know how to do these things. Haven't been hit by a rhino yet. My wife calls me back. My son's having a bit of a meltdown. I run back, but I don't make it, do I? Because I'm intercepted by a policewoman. Well, I say policewoman, a hobgoblin. A 4'2" Susan Boyle orc lookalike in a police uniform who was screaming at me, you wait for the red man to change. I think that's what she says. I don't speak Middle-earth. And anyway, I'm not listening, am I? Because I'm transfixed by seeing a Smith & Wesson, handcuffs and camel toe all in the same panorama. Yes. Thank you very much. Good night.
Round of applause for Jeff Green.